Well, hello, my beautiful Librans. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of October, right through the end of November 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Librans, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and the third pile is the unified energy of how things come together. Also, worth noting what a twin flame connection is, because if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection. That's more likely to be a false flame connection, and that really will drain you of your beautiful love and waste your wonderful time, okay? So let's get straight to your reading. I don't know if you noticed in the water when the guide chimes were going though, there was a small ripple effect that occurred in the water. So there is some sort of catalyst for change going on in your twin flame union at this moment in time. But let's get to the cards and see what that is. So thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Librans? What do they need to know right now regarding their twin flame dynamic? Can you please show them the way? What are my beautiful Librans going through right now, and what is their twin going through, and how do their paths co-align? How do they all come together there? So you have the mouse, so right now you're making yourself scarce. You may feel very distraught about this connection. There is an energy of sadness, longing, hardship, and struggle with this connection. I will go through and get their cards as well before I really tap into all of the energy. But it's worth mentioning that twin flames, the relationship itself, whilst it is very intense, passionate, and all-consuming, it is actually a process. It's a relationship that serves a purpose. Now, it's not typical to form all the time, but it tends to be the majority of the time. There is a runner, a chaser, and a separation period. Now, the chaser opens themselves up to surrendering to the vulnerability of love, of course, and the runner, they find themselves overwhelmed or feeling fear regarding their emotions, and they tend to push their twin away because they're actually rejecting a part of themselves that they've been running away from their whole life. Because the twin flame dynamic, there's nowhere to hide. It exposes raw energy, raw love, raw truth, and you really have to look at yourself and love yourself fully before you step into a twin flame union. Now, as I said, it is a process. It's a spiritual awakening. It's when the twin flame is activated, it's more about accepting your spiritual awakening than it has to be regarding the relationship and the romantic aspect of it itself. This is a triggered relationship. It spins both parties off to accept their sense of purpose, their true life mission and calling before they reunite. And of course, they must learn about unconditional love for self before they can truly come together in a sustainable relationship. Now, it is, as I mentioned, a process that prepares both parties to release lower vibrational energy that keeps either party stuck in addictive patterns, cycles of repeat, unhealthy attachments. And it's a very inner vibrational transformation that is intense. It's a personal journey of discovery. That's why there tends to be a separation period. I always say do not wait for your twin, because they can take, months, years, decades to really look at the stuff, process their path, and come back to self before they can come back to you and offer you a healthy union and offer you the love that you truly deserve and desire. So I feel it's important to recognize that both parties need to discover the purpose, embrace unconditional love, and only then can the reunion process take place and be sustainable. Now, it's a mirrored relationship. You may have heard of the twin flame mirror. Basically, there is a projection going on in the twin flame dynamic. So when the twin, who is the runner, they're looking at you, they're looking at all the things within themselves. As I said, they are avoidant of, and they feel fear. They push away because they're actually rejecting a part of themselves, and they just don't want to go to that depth because it overwhelms them. Often twin flames have not experienced unconditional love, so they feel perhaps it's going to be taken away, or that once you really get to know them, you'll realize that they're not worthy of your love, or that you're going to judge them or walk away in some way, because there tends to be dynamics where there are trust issues, insecurities, codependency, self-loathing, abandonment issues. These are things that need to be processed, and that's on both sides, okay? So it can be that when you look at your twin, it actually amplifies things within you that have remained unhealed, because both parties tend to have had some sort of challenging experience before they even meet each other. Okay, and if those things have not been processed, they are baggage, and they will bleed all over your relationship and keep the separation period longer and longer and longer. So both parties need to process before there is a coming together in union. And it's not a game, it's an energetic exchange. If you think about two magnets that are identical in frequencies, they push and pull, they attract each other, but also repel each other. There is that space in between. And both parties, because they share the same frequency, in order to be together and connect, the frequencies in each magnet need to transform. They need to change to a different vibration. So that is where your spiritual awakening comes in. It's about releasing anything that's not healthy for you, anything that's been keeping you restricted or keeping you protecting your heart. Because sometimes protection, it can be a limitation, especially if either you or your person has gone through some sort of traumatic experience. There can be hypervigilance where you preempt that there's going to be some sort of trauma or challenge or pain, especially if you've loved and lost before you've even met your twin. That can be something in your vibration that triggers in a twin flame pursuit of each other, where fears are amplified and you feel like you're not safe in the union, and it actually perpetuates the cycle. So remember the magnets. As soon as the twin flame dynamic is triggered, both of you want to be together. That's why your twin keeps coming back trying to make it work. You're trying to make it work, and there is something that just isn't fitting. That is a rite of passage. That purpose is separation and pause in order to reflect on yourself. As soon as the chaser puts all that care, devotion, love, and focus on their calling, that's when you transform a vibration. You erect healthier boundaries, you have more sense of value, and of course, you step into your power, you have more confidence within yourself. And that's when it transforms the twin flame dynamic. They're given an energetic exchange of they need to step up or step out of the union. Often they step out because they're trying to redefine themselves, to rediscover their power, to learn that they can't just come to you in an unhealthy fashion. They need to, have their actions co-aligning with their words. And of course, then they will be offered an opportunity to go through their spiritual awakening and transform their vibrations until it is a match. Now, Many people get anxious or worried when they are separated from the person that they love. They know they want to be with that person. They know that there are emotions there. You're not imagining whether the twin flame dynamic exists. It does exist, but sometimes there can be certain patterns that are unhealed or learnt that need to be unlearnt from either childhood or previous relationships. And until that has happened, it will perpetuate a cycle. It will go round and round in circles. So it's about saying, no, I value myself and I will not let this cycle repeat until I actually see that words and actions co-align. And looking at your energy, there is something that keeps repeating in your energy with this person. There's a lot of fear, but there's also this energy of addiction or addictive patterns, but also obsession, a lot of physical attraction with each other. But I'm also getting this energy of interference in the connection. So I'm not sure what that is yet. I'm going to have to explore that, but let's get to your energy and see what's going on for you. But that was just a bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame dynamic. And there's so much more online, so check it out there just to be sure. Also, the difference between a twin flame and a false flame is that basically a false flame will, and even a karmic relationship will trigger you without any spiritual evolution or any growth. Nobody's learning anything. It's just the same old thing, just a different day. If no one's trying, it normally means that you're connected more to a false flame or a karmic that is there to trigger you, to teach you lessons. Whilst the twin flame dynamic does try to teach you lessons, you'll notice both parties kind of learning from it. Okay? They may not learn from it straight away, but there is at least someone trying. Okay? And if you're not seeing that, if you're seeing someone just come on in, sliding on into your life, expecting nothing to change there, expecting you just to accept them back after certain behaviors, then I would question the dynamic and really look into whether this person is your twin or not. So let's get to your cards. We have the mouse. So this is your protagonist energy, okay? You can feel this person's fear, this anxiety. You can feel that this person has made themselves scarce. You know that there is something here that has literally clipped this person's wings in life, okay? But right now, I feel like you are the person who is retaining your power. You're removing yourself from this person's life, okay? You may have kind of like made yourself feel scarce. I feel a lot of you feel that this relationship is a struggle, and you're so fed up of this. I definitely feel that in your energy. The mouse is an energy of worry as well, loss. You feel this profound sense of loss that you've been waiting, but you don't want to waste your time anymore. You gave so much of yourself to this connection, and you may feel that this person has lost out on being with you, which absolutely, that is the dynamic you need to be shifting into. That's you being that catalyst for change in this relationship. So that's a great energy that just popped in there. But you have noticed the deterioration of this connection, and you may be aware that it's exhausting you, draining you, and you feel that there is some sort of toxicity here. So, either this is an actual toxicity, like an addiction to a substance for some of you, because you have an energy here of the devil and the mouse. But also there can be this energy coming through. I'm getting two. One is addictions in general, addictive personality, where this person catches themselves falling back into a cycle of repeat. They are tempted. They are aware of their shadow self. They need to really do some work on that right now. Or there's this other energy I've got coming through that some of you, your twin may have sacrificed love because they are caring for somebody else. And I'm not saying that they're caring for another partner. This may be a family member or someone that they feel duty bound to be there for. So this could be, a parent, guardian, or someone in their family that they feel responsible for, because this person's got a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, whatever this is. And the Eight of Swords, it feels like their hands are tied, or they feel stuck or in a bind. They're just stuck in this, whatever this is. Life got pretty serious for them. This is how they feel about you. There's romance there. They want to tell you how they feel. When something goes well for this person, the first person they actually think about telling is you. They may actually tell you that as well in your future. But I would say with the mouse energy, you're just exhausted with this. And you have withdrawn to a point where you feel it's going to highlight to them what it means for you not to be in their life. You don't want to do that and play that game. I feel it's more that you fear that this person has not been there for you. Like their silence feels like an abandonment. You feel abandoned in this connection. You feel lost. You may have even felt really consumed by your emotions regarding this. Overwhelmed is what I'm seeing. If you acknowledge what a mouse does, mouse goes very quiet. So you may feel like you have so much to say, but right now you've gone really silent on this person. You may occasionally peek at their social media if they are on social media, because a mouse does peek out from time to time. You may have tried so many times to make this work, but it feels like it's just diminishing the relationship or chipping away at your spirit time and time again. But this was to trigger something within you. No playing small. It's time for you to regain your power. And I feel like you're on that shift right now, because this is the energy of, it's been a struggle. When you see the number 23, 2 plus 3 is 5, which is hardship, struggle, tension, looking at the alternative because you're like, I can't do this anymore. And the 9 of Pentacles, this has triggered you. It's almost like amplified you to realize that you are someone who has a lot of power, a lot of gravitas. Remember, you are a magnet. They are also a magnet. But I feel like something within you has triggered some fears regarding this. I mean, definitely a fear of waiting, being on hold. You're looking at a whole wide world out there. You're like, of all the people in the world, I fell in love with this person. Why this person? Well, they were here to teach you the most about yourself, is what I'm seeing there. And for you to regain the sense of independence, to be stepping into your strength, as it were. This is a card that is teaching about independence, self-sufficiency. So there could have been some sort of codependency at the core of your person, which has been reflected back to you in some way, where, you care so much it hurts, right? Sometimes to be overwhelmed with love and emotion, it can be painful because you fear loss, you fear losing a person that you love and invest in relationships with so much. So a lot of you, it could have triggered fears around loss, this relationship. And it's also, I would say, there's something coming through here as well, that you don't want to get lost in this relationship. It's like you don't want to lose yourself. Like you lost yourself in the emotions. You may even feel like a piece of you was left with this person, but I feel like you're coming home to self in a way where you're regaining that power and recognizing that you are independent and that this person should complement your life. It's not to blend the energies where you kind of like don't know who you are anymore. So some of you may have had experiences before you even met your twin where you were soul searching and you lost yourself in something with a person, and it's triggered that. Now, of course, not all of you may have connected to this, but I feel right now, looking at how you feel about this twin flame dynamic, I feel like you're cautious. I feel like you're really quiet on this. You're making yourself scarce. Focusing on your own needs, building your stability, focusing on your plans, being, self-disciplined, holding yourself to higher standards, being self-reliant, and creating a foundation of security in your life. Anyone who comes into your life should be a welcome addition to complement the lifestyle that you have right now. And you may feel in the present form that your person is just not that at this moment. They're playing catch up with your awakening, as it were. 9 of Pentacles is an energy of you like looking at this relationship like, I don't need this person. I wanted to be with this person, but I don't need them. So a lot of you may be retaining your power, removing yourself from this person's energy, and contemplating perhaps moving on. I mean, you want stability, you want security, but I feel like you're building that for yourself. And something within you is highlighted here where it's like to give someone else the power over your stability, it just makes you feel really anxious. So I feel like you're someone who's been through a lot in your life. You're super strong. Life has taught you to, stick up for yourself, to show up for yourself, because you've learned that people walk away or that people haven't been there for you. And you're someone who is super strong. And that's why this person was really attracted to you, because they saw your strength and they see in you what they feel like they lack at this time. And I feel like they lent into you, into your energy for solace, for sanctuary, for healing. And you've triggered that healing path within them. Remember, a healer isn't someone who fixes a person or heals a person. It is a person who asks leading questions to trigger things within the person who is seeking healing for them to really reflect on. You've given a lot for this person to think about. I feel this person is a very hurt person. There's something here where they felt very restricted in life. Maybe a very strict upbringing is what I'm seeing here as well. But also I feel there's some sort of outside influence. I'm not sure what it is yet. Maybe it's a person. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check in with that a little bit more. But I feel like you want a healthy relationship. You know, you recognize that there has to be independence in a relationship. That a person, they have to choose you and want to be by your side. You're not forcing anyone to be by your side. You want someone who chooses you every single day for the rest of your life. And you feel that this person has damaged that notion within you regarding this relationship. Because how can you trust? You know, you feel unsure, a little bit skittish that you cannot trust this person. They have presented themselves in this moment because they're feeling stuck and they haven't been able to break through something that is limiting them at this time. You feel like they have let you down, or you feel that you cannot rely on this person. So I feel like you're relying on yourself at this moment in time, but also that Two of Wands, I mean, you want stability. You came out of your comfort zone in order to surrender to this relationship, and you've waited a long time. And in this time, you're giving back to yourself. You're actually having a glow up. You're attractive both inside and out. You are focused on your body's needs right now, where you're spending your energy, your attention. You're in a period of wanting to foster more abundance in your life. But the Nine of Pentacles, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a figure who has 9 pentacles, of course, 6 that are being retained for themselves, and then 3 that are given out. So I feel like you are readdressing the balance in this connection. You're not giving so much of yourself to this connection. I feel a lot of you with that mouse energy, you have made yourself scarce. You know, perhaps you're still like peeking out occasionally to see what's going on there or wondering, but I feel you're not really giving to this. You just want to be free from this. You wanted this person to choose you and be in a high level commitment with you, but you've waited so long that it's made you feel that there's a big old wide world out there and perhaps it's not going to happen. Okay. Actually, this is something that's come through before, maybe not for your sign, but it's coming up now. So this is going to be a conversation between you and your twin in the future. I feel it's going to be way in the future as well, because this person is stuck. They are a little bit lost, okay? But you're going to have a conversation with this person. Every time you look at the moon, you may be wondering if your person is also looking up at the moon. And the answer is yes. And both of you are thinking about each other in that moment. You're having the same thought. Same vibrational energy, okay? So I feel right now you are focused on your sense of purpose. You're leaning into your projects. You are building a life for yourself, and you're valuing yourself in a different way. And of course, that Two of Wands indicates that you're thinking about the future. You don't want to be stuck waiting and waiting and waiting. You're feeling restless. You had an expectation on this connection. It didn't go the way you planned. There's a yearning. Doesn't mean you don't feel for this person. You want to be with this person, but you may feel that it's a risk. Okay? Because that figure is sitting on top of the house there, and it's like one false move, it could be a risk. So you feel like you cannot trust this person, that you never know where you're at with this person right now. And that's not a healthy place for this twin flame dynamic to be. I want you to acknowledge that. I feel like you already know that. Of course, this person, there is so much feeling here for you, but they haven't managed to get out of their head. Okay, there's something here that is limiting them in fear. And the King of Pentacles, of course, at the core of them, they want to be stable. They want to be secure. I need to see what is going on here, because I feel more than anything, this is not them striving for ambition or money or getting their job to be like an excuse to run away from love. I feel it is some sort of outside influence that is keeping them stuck. So I'm not sure what that is yet until I get into their energy. But that Two of Wands, this is an indication that you can't wait forever. And I always say, do not wait anyway there. But this is, you know, you've been waiting for results on this and you're not seeing the results on this. And you're at a crossroads where you're like, well, where do I go from here? Okay. And where do you go from here is like, you focus on yourself. You focus on your sense of purpose. You focus on having your glow up. You focus on being really precise in your life about what's important and living in the moment. That's when you change. And I feel you are on that precipice of change with this connection. I mean, this person is having a gear shift that you're dealing with, but they're certainly not there yet. Okay. We've got the letter. It's often a romantic correspondence that's coming through from this person. So you will hear from this person. You haven't heard the last from this person, but this card can indicate that there's going to be some sort of email or communication or text or something, but also it indicates they want to express something, okay? And they want to express their fears, Eight of Swords, but I want to know what this is, because Eight of Swords is a self-limitation. It's like they're holding themselves back. Now, for some of you, this could be that they thought they could delay love. Like, oh yeah, I'll settle down later on in life. And then suddenly they're like, oh, okay, the time has arrived, but I still feel like I'm not ready. So yeah, I'll settle down later on in life. And it's always tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Today is your day. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a quick card on this Eight of Swords, because this person, I mean, mentally, there's a lot on their mind. Now, for some of you, not all of you, there just came like an energy straight away. For some of you, not all of you, some of you, your twin may have been incarcerated or in prison, for example. Not all of you, of course, but because we got the Devil card there, it can be that they're stuck in a bind. They want to be with you. They write to you. You get correspondence, but you're like, can I wait for this to play out, or do I get busy living? So some of you are feeling really isolated, lonely, and worried about the future regarding this circumstance because there's no guarantee. So you're like, do I wait forever? And then when this person comes out, do we build a life? I feel like you may have that interesting but very challenging dynamic conversation with this person. I don't feel, looking at the energy, if you are dealing with that situation, that you're leaving them in the lurch. I do not see that. You're not that sort of person, because you've got that Nine of Pentacles there, which means loyalty. Okay, so... but for the rest of you, of course, you do not have a person who is incarcerated. They are like limited by their fears, though, because the Eight of Swords is worry, fear, and feeling completely stuck in a situation. And I want to know why, because right at the very base of them is you offering this stable, secure relationship. They have a lot of respect for you. There's romance there as well. So it's like, well, what's the problem? Because right now they're presenting as like, everything's fine. I've got the feelings. I feel stable and secure in this relationship, but I'm just like feeling empty or lost. Not empty in terms of love in the relationship. I feel like they're soul searching or feeling, a little bit lost within themselves, because 8 is the number of the self. So there's something going on deep within this person. A lot of sorrow, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. But what is this? Because I'm not being given this. They're a very private person. Thank you so much. Oh, I've been told they write it down. Okay, they write down, they document, they have a diary, or they have like a journal, is what I'm being given. And this is something that's locked off. It's very private, but they do write down thoughts and feelings and things in there. This is random, okay? But in the very, very far away future, I feel like if you manage to come together with this person, because right now, I got to be honest with you, it feels very uncertain. You got the Moon, the Devil, and the Two of Pentacles here. There needs to be balance. I'm seeing 12-12 in the water right now. This means that both of you, balance is important in your life in order to come back together in a union. I mean, like, you're on the right path. The separation period is happening on purpose. There is, a purpose to that pause. But I feel right now there's a lot of intense feelings, a lot of feeling stuck, a lot of feeling tempted to fall back into a cycle of repeat, and some shadow work needs to be done here. So you have Three of Wands. As I said, they're always waiting tomorrow and tomorrow. Three of Wands is to look to the horizon for the future. You've got the Two of Wands, for you, and then Three of Wands for your person. So it's like you've been waiting and they're waiting, but how long can you wait? Three of Wands also indicates that, they need to engage their heart and trust their vision for the future. I feel everything that this person's tried to connect to has fallen apart in the past, has not gone the way they'd hoped for. So they do feel that this could be another product of them, like, not succeeding in something. So that's something that's coming out there. We've got the Queen of Wands. So they're very attracted to you. I feel a lot of them are asking right now, the twin flame vibrancy that I'm picking up on right now is like, they're physically very attracted to you, but I feel with that Three of Wands and the Queen of Wands is an energy of like, they want to know if it's more. Okay, so they're in the seeking phase. I mean, looking at the romantic energy, they kind of know it's love, but why are they second guessing it? Queen of Wands is someone who likes to go out and party, someone who, I feel actually I'm being given this energy that, because if you know Tarot, the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands are very interlinked. They are connected because it means you're having a glow up. You're someone who's super attractive. I feel one of the fears with this person is that you outshine them, and they don't mind that, but it means that you attract a lot of other attention. So there could be jealousy at the very core at this person, and this comes from an insecurity that is deep-rooted in childhood, is what I'm being given here. So it's like there's no safe bets in relationships. You just got to surrender to the process and trust. Most important, trust. If the trust is not there, then of course, no matter how much love there is on the plate to be devoured by both parties, there's going to be a misalignment because there's always going to be that seed of doubt. Okay, so let me just go one more. Three of Wands. Now the Three of Wands, you know, I feel there is like a friend as well that is influencing this situation in some way. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide? Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is heavy energy, baggage. So what I'm being given is that, now don't shoot the messenger when I say this, okay? Six of Wands. Okay. What I'm getting, and this may not resonate with all of you, okay, but I have to honor it because it came through. Your person has a friend that many years ago, there was a connection. They crossed the line of friendship, okay? There was some physical interaction there as well, but your person wasn't into it. It was just like a physical thing. It was just kind of like, you know what? It was a moment. We did that. It was kind of like exploring whether we were going to go anywhere with this. And this is way before they met you, okay? And this person, they still have feelings for your person, okay? Now, your person has no feelings for this person because looking at their energy, they're just not interested. But what I'm seeing here is that this person has heavy influence in their life. So I feel this person is not telling them not to go with you. They're not doing that. This person's actually more like buying into this person's sense of, yeah, wait for love, you know, in the future, yeah. And I feel that this person's going to see through this or is starting to see through this and realize that this got in the way. It's like, how could I have trusted this person? Because I'm being given this energy of like Iago from Othello, Shakespeare. Someone who's whispering in their ear saying, you know what, I'm really honest. This is happening. You know, this is happening. You should be aware of this. It's like they're constantly in their ear about stuff. And because there is a long-term connection, I feel like they grew up with this person, whoever this person is. And I feel this person, they go way back and they have influence on this person. But the Six of Wands, this person's going to see through them. They're going to see it. And I feel like they're doing it right now. And they're like, oh my gosh. You kind of did this to get in the way of me being with people, other people, Libra in particular, because I feel, looking at the energy, this person realizes you were stable and true. So I'm not saying they said anything about you. I don't like to buy into gossip or anything like that, but I'm getting that strongly with these cards. Okay, and it's kept them stuck. Let's just go one more just to be precise. This person's going to tell you that as well. By the way, you're going to be able to, Five of Pentacles. Yeah, this person feels like the victim of this person. Like they have a longing for you. They struggled with the relationship. They feel that that Five of Pentacles can be like someone they expected to be there for them. It's like the person, it's like the friend always said, but what about the alternative? Like they would be very clever in their discourse. Like this person would talk about you and they were like, oh my gosh, they sound amazing. And I can't wait to meet them. Or they presented themselves as being really kind of like up for the whole thing and be like, but I can't believe you in a relationship. You're always so like footloose and fancy free and, always adventurous and things like that. And I thought you weren't going to settle down now. I thought it was in the future. What about your dreams? Or when you're going to go to that college? Or when you're going to go and, work in that country abroad? Or when, like, presenting all the alternatives, because the Five of Pentacles is alternatives. And I feel this person was like, oh yeah, it got them in their head. That's something that's just coming through, because I'm getting outside influence. This person, I feel they're awakened to this now already. I feel like they're, when you get to a point where you're like, hang on a minute, this keeps happening. And you start to work through the process, and then you really feel like, oh my gosh, I just let that whole situation get influenced by that person. Someone I thought I could trust. This person is feeling a little bit like shocked and isolated and regretful of being stuck with that. It's like, how could I not see? This person didn't see the wood for the trees, is what I'm being given by my guides. I mean, this is very precise. Not everybody's going to resonate with this at all, but I have to acknowledge that this is something that came through there. It's like a difficult situation that was out of their hands. They trusted, they feel held back. I mean, this is a card of being held back. Now, normally it's a card of being held back by your own thoughts, but I feel like someone was whispering in their ear. Okay, and yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. Let me see if there's anything more beyond that fear, because I feel a lot of the twins' energy that I'm picking up right now is like tomorrow. It's like I'll settle down later on in life. Yeah, I'm just being given two words: friend, trust. So, okay. So it's like their friend has betrayed their trust. So your person may tell you about a friend who betrayed their trust. Two Wands. They kept you waiting because of that. Two Wands is there. It's like the wait. So it's like they had plans. I feel like they have a yearning for you as well. I mean, they were feeling restless too in this wait. Sometimes influences outside ourselves can really do a number. And I feel this person has had that occur to them. But I feel the only thing that was really at the very core of this person was like to wait. Until what? You'll always be waiting. The time is now. Life normally happens when you're making other plans. So you may as well just live in the moment and just go with the flow. Just dive all in and see that the water's great. I feel like you offered an incredible relationship to this person. And you saw a future with this person, but there's so much uncertainty now with the moon energy. It's like, how can we return back to what once was? Okay. King of Pentacles, this person needs to prove to you that they are stable, secure, and offer a relationship that is long-term, that they can trust you, that they want to invest in this, that they value the relationship. I mean, I feel deep down there's something more to this, but it keeps coming out the same cards, like the Two of Wands, Three of Wands. It's like they always told themselves they'd wait. They were not looking for love when they met you, and suddenly it's love, and they felt in a bind, and then they had this alternative kind of like, thank you so much, I'm so grateful. My guys just said manipulative interference. Okay, this is such a random reading that's coming out there, but we're all mature enough to make our own decisions, of course, but sometimes someone can cloud your judgment. And I feel this person bought into a judgment that was clouded, okay? And they regret it. They're feeling foolish. They will tell you this in your future there, but I feel they aspire to be the person that you want them to be and that they know they should be for the union. But I would say they're not there yet. Not at all. Not even close. I got to be honest with you there, because the outcome is the moon. There's so much like hidden under the surface here. There's so many like secrets energy going on, not with your person, but how they've dealt with this like friend who's been keeping secrets from them, who's been manipulating the situation. But the moon is all about reflection, a period of pause. So there's a lot of drama that's gone on with this. There's a lot more below the surface on this one than I'm being given. And normally I get to the crux of the matter, but I got to honor where it's private and when there's something there. But Eight of Swords, it's not just about fear controlling someone's mind, because you can be fearful of many things, right? But there's something that triggered this fear within them, an experience that perhaps they keep to themselves, maybe their friend, because they grew up with their friend. When you're teenagers, you know, you really learn who you can confide in, and maybe they lent into this person, and this person knows a lot about them, knows how to push their buttons, knows their hopes, their fears. But I feel there may be something more to your person that they've experienced that they just don't tell anybody until they feel really sure. This is some sort of trauma or experience that just keeps them stuck when it comes to relationships. And I feel like perhaps this person played with that. But this person is awakening to that. They're going through their shadow self. They're acknowledging how they feel. The moon energy indicates romance, feelings, real deep emotions there, and a period where both of you need to reflect on that. And with the devil card energy, there's some sort of addictive pattern or manipulation gone on here. I mean, manipulation is also denying one's feelings, denying how you feel about a situation, is you kind of like controlling things. And I'm not saying you, my beautiful Librans, I feel like your person controlled their feelings, denied who they truly were, and that even manipulated the situation there. Some of you are also dealing with a person who have addictions or had addictions there. I mean, I also feel this intense like obsession energy. And sometimes when people feel overwhelmed in their emotions, emotional intensity can, you know, trigger a feeling of danger within a person, especially if they've had at some point in their story a moment where closeness, you know, equaled pain. It can be that perhaps when they were growing up, they had to manage things alone, or, you know, people who are supposed to be there to comfort them or, you know, be there for them that they could rely on, they just weren't there. So they learned coping mechanisms and lent into other people. And it feels like they've been let down or betrayed again by a person that they considered a friend there as well. So that's just coming out here. I mean, we got the cherries there, which represent temptation, but also trying to build something healthy. The mushrooms, toxicity, but also recognize that the mushrooms can be, they feel like they're in a really dark place right now because this is where they grow. They have to face their shadows. That's what everybody has to do to go through an ego death. This person, you know, they've got a bravado. They've got a great facade. Doesn't mean they're not being authentic. It just means that they're holding it all together when behind all of this, where they're presenting themselves as like, you know what, I got it all going on. I'm fine. I don't miss you. I don't care. I don't have emotions. And inside they're breaking. Inside they are unsure of how it got to this. You know, when I met my twin, I pushed my twin away. I didn't mean to, but I was very hurt and damaged from a previous situation. I was the runner. I was denying my feelings because they were overwhelming. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm smothering in these emotions. I didn't love myself. There was self-loathing. You know, there was just so much going on. Did I think about my twin every single day? Absolutely, obsessively so. I wanted to be with them, but I couldn't get out of my own way and out of the way of my own fears to really open up and trust love. Because love had taught me that it does not stick around. It is not a happy place for me. I mean, that was then. I've done a lot of processing, but I'm highlighting from the point of view from a runner that to love, you can feel the love. You can feel the intensity, the warmth, the excitement, the passion, all of that. And then suddenly you start thinking, well, this is going to go away because every time I've had this in my life, it's gone away. And this is more. This is something I've never felt before. It's something special, something raw, something authentic and true. But this could be taken away and then I'll literally be broken. It will literally be the end of me. So I feel a lot of you, you're dealing with a person who has so many layers right now. Some of your twins, the energy I'm getting is some of your twins may be numbing a trauma or numbing pain. And when you are disassociating in that way and ignoring the root cause, it will just build up and it will literally create a prison of your own making because you haven't processed something, and it will give you a limitation where you're in analysis paralysis. You want to move forward. You want to take action. You want to tell the person that you are in love with them, but there's a difficulty, an impediment, like they cannot speak it. All the words and emotions used to get caught in my throat chakra. I felt like I was silenced by pain, sadness, and the destruction of that little spark within me because someone had treated me so horrifically in the past. So depending on what your person has gone through, I feel like they've been numbing a lot of emotions, and you showed them that mirror. You showed them who they could be, who they should be, and who they are. And it takes a lot of work to step up to that. So then they thought that maybe you have like an idealized kind of vision of who they should be. And they feel the reality of that is that in their fears, they cannot match that. You know, King of Pentacles is someone who is doing really well, someone who's successful, ambitious, who is confident, serious, structured, settled. And this person felt like perhaps they were none of those things when their fears arose. So they thought you would really see through them, like it was an illusion. Because remember, the moon energy is illusion. So they thought that when you really see the real them, they felt that perhaps they don't have anything to offer you. Perhaps they feel like they're not worthy of your love. And I feel there is some sort of toxic reprogramming that's going on in this connection. And I feel it may stem from a father lineage or, you know, maybe some sort of challenge. Because I feel an energy, and this is, again, not going to resonate with all of you. I feel there's an energy of like a fear of a father figure or, you know, a masculine guardian there that is rooted in this person's soul. And I feel this is also something they need to really understand and get to grips with there too. Two of Pentacles, your relationship right now, it feels like it's hanging in the balance. I feel, most importantly, balance is the key to finding your way back towards each other. I mean, the energies are too inconsistent right now. I got to be honest with you. It doesn't mean it's not going to evolve from there. This reading is for the next 6 weeks. So I feel right now, you may get a message from your person, but I feel it will repeat a cycle, and I feel it will leave you feeling exactly the way that you felt the last time this occurred. Two of Pentacles is adapting to looking at the shadow self to really understand coping mechanisms, breaking down walls within self in order to feel, in order to allow the emotions to flow, and to really lean more into this sense of romance and stability and love, of course, unconditional love for self as well as each other, but also fight the fears. Okay, thanks so much. I'm so grateful. My guides are giving me a song. It's a very famous song by Prince. But I think Prince at that point was with the New Power Generation. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to leave that. I'll give you the lyrics I'm being given. I am yours and you are mine, and together we'll love through all space and time. So don't cry. Thanks so much. I'm so grateful. Well, the person who's crying in this card is your person. Okay, so maybe this is something that is coming from you. I'm not sure. This song is just showing up here. Now, there's an infinity sign on this card. So that is like an unbreakable bond. Infinity is, you know, something being of existence through all space and time. That's infinity, right? So this could be a song you'll hear in the next coming weeks or months. I mean, I feel with this song, if I remember rightly, many years ago, I became aware of this song and thought, well, what does this really mean? So there could be some sort of religious factor there, or some sort of influence regarding religion. My readings are not about religion. Maybe this is something that your person will talk about, or maybe it's a spiritual belief, or maybe it's just a belief. I mean, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. 7, the song I think is called 7, and it was about the deadly sins or something I read. I'm probably wrong. So that feels very much like it's connected to religion. I'm not really sure where my guides are going with this. My guides are just giving me, it's just that part of the song that's relevant, that this person will love you for all of time, and I feel like you'll feel the same way, but maybe it's like, can you adapt to come together? I feel it's about facing the fears head on, looking at the triggers, looking at the temptations of where both of you fall back into certain practices or certain behaviors, unlearning these behaviors. You're in a period of reprogramming, as it were, to adapt and find balance, to let go, to shed. 2 of Pentacles, I mean, I'm not sure how it's relevant with that song. I'll always be honest and say, I don't know why that song's popping up for you, but it may be relevant in some way. Maybe it's just a signpost. You're going to hear that song and then your person's going to message. It could be just that. But it feels very much like that song is kind of like, it's you and me against the world. We will find a way to come together. That all the barriers or restrictions will fall away. And these don't have to be connected to like the 7 deadly sins, for example. It can be just the barriers. They will fall away. They will like create an opportunity to restart. So I'm not really sure, but this is a card of like things are in development right now. I feel you and your person developing your spiritual path, your connection to self, and things will develop in unexpected ways when you get this card. It means, you know, there is change coming. Trust in how the universe will shape this experience and bring you back into being. Both of you feel on shaky ground right now. You're both searching for stability in different ways. And I feel, you know, it's about dealing with a situation when you feel that there is no stability. You retain balance. You don't allow your feelings to overwhelm you. You don't allow your fears to keep you restricted. So I feel both of you are in a process. And there'll be messaging, but I feel like right now you are not in an energy to come back together to offer a healthy long-term relationship. Doesn't mean you can't do it down the line. I just feel next 6 weeks is all about you focusing on your priorities, your needs, giving back to yourself, having your glow up. And there is a bit of a wait still. I always say do not wait, but there is time in the space of all of this. So I'm just going to go get some final cards just to highlight anything else that's going on there. Something that's been left unsaid. Well, we've got I love you. So I feel both parties feel the same there. I feel, you know, there's a lot of sadness or a lot of regret, but I do feel at the core there is love. But I feel it bordered on obsession or like physical intensity. But there's something more. I mean, you've got the romantic loving card for your person. So it tells me that this person does have feelings for you. And we've got, what if you don't accept me for who I really am? So that really is at the core of this person. As I said, there's something deeper here where this person feels that if it was revealed or if it comes to the surface or, you know, it's something there where they feel like you could judge them, or there's something where it's like, what if they completely give in to this connection and then suddenly you're like, actually, you're not the person I want to be with, and you leave. There's just this fear that they don't invest in relationships easily. And that's friendships as well. That's why it's going to really hurt when they realize, because I feel a lot of them are realizing right now that a friend has kind of betrayed them in a certain way. And, you know, I feel it takes a lot to let people in. So it's like there's no guarantees. And that's the fear. We've also got, my life has changed so much since meeting you. I feel that is true. I feel you have really influenced this person. They respect you for that. But I feel their fears got the better of them there. And they may tell you that their life has changed in a way where they felt they needed to step up to transform, to feel like they could offer something of value to a relationship, but really they needed to come home to themselves and realize that they are the gift. They are the person that has value in the relationship, not something outside of themselves. But I feel they're a little bit lost right now, so they're soul searching, and they will discover that within themselves in time. So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Now, I really wish I could like tie it up all up in a wonderful bow for you, my beautiful Librans, and say, yep, you know, next Tuesday, you two are going to be together. It's love. It's amazing. And you're never going to look back. I wish I could do that. But real talk, I got to tell you what is in the cards. And even if you look up the meanings of the cards right now, it feels like there is some sort of cycle or some sort of uncertainty and fear that is creating, you know, a barrier in this connection. And until that is resolved or processed, there is going to be a distance between both of you, okay? And finally, we have my garden. So that's attending to your own garden. You know, if you think about it, there's a mushroom right there as an outcome. And if you're tending to your garden, you're, you know, being very careful about the mushrooms that grow there. You know, you're making sure you remove any of the toxic mushrooms, perhaps, and keeping the healthy ones. But I feel this is about shaping your life in some way, going through a period of personal development and growth. I mean, there's 2 flowers here that are growing and they look like stars. That's symbolic on purpose. 2 people healing for different reasons that can co-align in the future, but there must be balance and there must be growth. And I feel both of you are in the middle of it right now. And it feels chaotic, it feels uncertain, but On the other side, there can be co-aligning, love, devotion, investment, and a future together. But everything needs to be processed first. So I will leave that there, my beautiful Librans. Thank you so much, and love and light.